experience narcissism, it's because you have spiritual gifts. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because if you break down the word narcissist, phonetically even, you get narc and Isis. Anytime you are referring to Isis in any regard, you are referring to not only the divine feminine, but your consciousness. This is the personification that Jesus represents. So Jesus is symbolic to the womb, and the womb is what created all of this shit. So when you are disconnected from the womb, you therefore become the narcissist. The narcissist is an inversion of the divine feminine, which means instead of love and light, it actually emits darkness like a vacuum. So it cannot give you life. It can only take life away from you. And because we live in a polarized reality, aka the 3D, the narcissist is what gives us that duality. So when you experience narcissism to any degree, whether it is your parents, relationships, friends, or family, it is so that you can be shocked back from your dormancy and finally see. And by see, I mean tap into your divinity. And this is the key to the trauma that the narcissist aids you in unlocking. But you have to stop polarizing the experience and collapsing it just to the traumatic narrative, and learn how to use your experience to alchemize yourself into a timeline of wealth. So when you do that, you have to break what I call the narcissistic spell. And that means that you are reactivating your genetic code so that you can tap into your Akashic records. When that happens, then you are able to channel the ancestors through your nervous system. This is why I say you have to go, in order to heal from narcissism, you have to go through a nervous system flush. That means that you have to learn to navigate the electromagnetic ocean of your emotions. This is the grieving process. A lot of us don't have a healthy relationship with grief because the patriarchy, which is the umbrella of narcissism, tells you that in order to heal, you just keep moving. And therefore, as far as your emotions and your trauma goes, you resort to suppression. And this causes the density within your nervous system. When your nervous system becomes dense, then you are not able to freely navigate the third dimensional realm. You become anchored in. Slavery in this regard is not in the physical sense. It mirrors in the physical, because in the spiritual or energetically, there is enslavement on your consciousness. So here's how that ties into your spiritual gifts. Because the narcissist is the inversion of the divine feminine, and it cannot give life, it can only take away from it. It has no identity, and the way that it feeds on you is to disconnect you from your authentic self, because narcissism is quite literally the disconnected self. So when you attract that disconnected partner in the form of the narcissist, it is mirroring to you, because you are the spirit. Remember, we live in a polarized dimension. So you will be the spirit and the narcissist will be the demon. But in order for it to navigate this reality, it has to usurp your identity. So therefore, it deactivates your divine memory and makes you think that your life with them is the only one that's worth living. However, once you break the spell of narcissism and you learn how to channel the ancestors within your nervous system, which means you have to lessen the density in a process that I call metaphysical healing, you begin to revolutionize your experience and start manifesting. Because narcissism extends beyond the person you were in a relationship with. It is actually a program. So you being disconnected from your divine self is what calls the narcissist in. And with you having no sense of your own divinity, this in itself lowers your frequency. And when your frequency is so low, you begin to resonate on a level where you are introduced to your shadow. So on the flip side, in regards to the narcissist, they vibrate so low that they lose their consciousness and their nervous system becomes hijacked by this narcissistic program. This is what we refer to as NPCs in the third dimension. So at some point, your experience with the narcissist becomes so intense that it shocks you into regaining your consciousness. This is how you activate your divine wisdom. Not only that, you also start to unlock your divine feminine wealth codes. This is where you start to tap into your magic and find interest in things like astrology, numerology, and even psychic abilities. All of which the narcissistic spell of the third dimension was sent to wipe from your memory. So if you're someone who's been affected by narcissism to any degree, it's time to reclaim your power and identity.